IVM.
I think by now we all know there's no such thing as a free lunch and any banking rewards are basically a lie, which is why I was pleasantly surprised to find that on my favorite digital banking app, Jupiter, each point is equal to 1 rupee. That's great. You earn about 1% rewards on debit card purchases and even some select UPI spends. And these rewards never expire, folks, so the more you use the app, the more rewards you get. Basically, if I spend enough, I may even be able to get that free lunch finally. That's a bit mean considering I order kebabs and leave before they come. So, I really disrespect the free lunch system here. Okay, I love the Jupiter Money app. No jargon, no hidden fees, and it's completely paperless. You can check out Jupiter.money or you can download the Jupiter Money app on your Android or iOS phones to get started. कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen, yaar, don't be so conservative. Namaste. Hindi is our national language. I thought I'd use one word at least, for God's sake. Show some respect. Namaste. Welcome to Cyrus Says, brought to you by Jupiter, a banking app that helps you master your money. And I have to mention here, don't want to toot my own horn or use a sexual phrase, blow my own trumpet, which I'm forced to. I am in agonizing pain. I'm on 2 Mobizox from last night because of a rotator cuff problem. And then, of course, I benched as hard as I could and pain throughout, especially when I went a little heavy. It's not going away now. 3 Wednesdays in a row I've been in this pain and I don't know what to do. So I'm looking for diclofenac. I'm torn because diclofenac is what wiped out the vultures. All right, it's a proven fact. They wiped out the vultures who are important for the Parsis, removal of the dead in a sense. We need them to eat us. That's the deal we have with the vultures. Contracts in place. And diclofenac has done this to them. So I don't want to support diclofenac because it's very, very powerful in terms of pain killing. But I need it because I can't bear the pain. Now, I'm going to show you as a demonstration. Please, guys, bear with me for a minute. This is genuine pain. If we can just cut to Silverie pretending to show pain. Silverie, can you just come into the frame? Now, just show, that's acting pain, you can see. Now, I'll try and put my hand behind and you watch real pain. Right, that's when you rotate a cuff and that's real pain. Or you can just look at any married man on the road.
Ladies, I'm sure you will relate to it if I say that we are constantly busy with work, studies, cooking and what not. And amidst all of this, we often forget an important element that needs our desperate attention: finance. So here we are, bringing to you SBI Life presents A Sip of Finance, a women-exclusive podcast where we will teach you how to manage personal finances in a simple and straightforward way with your host, Priyanka Acharya, a finance expert who's been in the industry for 14 plus years. And not just in English, but in 7 more languages. So tune in every Tuesday for fresh episodes on the IVM Podcast Network and all major podcast streaming platforms.
Sorry, isn't diclofenac like a antibiotic?
No, it's a painkiller. It's an analgesic or something. I don't know the real word.
I thought it was...
One of our vets on the show will clarify that.
Interesting.
It's the most powerful painkiller. And can you imagine that we humans designed something that destroyed nature at its finest? Because the vulture has the enzymes that no other animal has in terms of ability to destroy food that comes in and make sure that it synthesizes completely in their body. They are that good. They're top of the chain and that's why they're the scavengers number 1, apex. They can eat anything. And then we give them this diclofenac, which is chemically made, etc., and we kill them.
Yes.
We did what nature couldn't do. So who says God is greater than man? God is not greater than man.
So I remember hearing about this once somewhere. It's not just, there's some antibiotic which is being used by cattle which is causing this issue as well.
All right, then your story might not involve the Parsis.
Yeah. No, it's about the vultures and stuff like that. It was the first preview of the Seen and the Unseen, the Amit Verma podcast, which we used to do.
Right.
That was about this particular
started taking diclofenac to get through that podcast. I'm sorry. But may I just say that now the option is, and I'm talking to the Parsi, the Panchayat is voting on Sunday, a few days from now. Maybe we should start eating the vultures because they started dropping like flies. And maybe that's the other option, that we dispose of them in a sense. All those in favor, say who? That's Chinese for
La, la, la.
I don't take a chance what's happening the next 20
But you know,
years.
Cyrus, what does it say
Oh, hi,
about...
Shreyas.
Hello, what's up?
And
What's
just to
up?
tell everybody, you came in with 6 seconds to go.
I think you had already started when he came, no?
Oh, sort of. No, we were,
we
yeah.
had.
He was perfect. The time you can't point fingers.
No,
He
we
was,
cannot.
What does it say about us that vultures wait for people to be dead before eating them? While we don't give a fuck, just for no pain, we are killing them for enzymes.
No, I think what you're pointing out is a very important point. It's more about the class, as in classiness of the animal. The vulture is a classy bird. You know, so they don't want to disturb you. They wait for you to die. It's like that. Some animals, the tiger, when he becomes a man-eater, for example, he basically eats while you're still alive. He sort of gobbles you up, you know, so that kind of happens.
There are some
Bears
animals-
eat you while you're still alive. Bears don't wait for you to die.
Yeah.
Then,
There are also animals who commit suicide, right?
yeah,
are there?
mostly guys on this podcast.
No, not that. So I don't know. I just saw like it was a very silly but very funny, but also very kind of sad video.
Someone died and you're finding it funny.
No, not really, not dead. No, like I saw a video where a lobster jumped into the frying pan himself. Without any prompting, like it just jumped into the
But
frying
you
pan.
think
Which
the
government,
Eventually started
which
getting
government
fried.
was in power?
I don't know,
Who
but it was
do we
very,
blame? Huh.
it was very sad, but also like I was like fascinated. Like, okay,
Why
how
would he jump into the frying pan?
It just did.
But
It's like
even
a
the
mistake.
lobster knew
Because
that that's
it's a
dead.
frying pan.
Yeah,
I don't
if
know
he-
it. Like so, I imagine animals have a good sense of heat detection, right? They can tell where the hot
So
stuff
they
is
were
and where it's
probably
not.
on like something refrigerated. Or maybe there
maybe
was a
it-
fire which was on in the frying pan was
Okay.
cheaper.
Animals know when they're going to
It's
die,
possible,
but
but I don't think that was.
I think Silverie,
I think it's just-
was this a cartoon?
No, it wasn't.
This doesn't count.
It was found footage. It was live action.
You're
found
sure?
footage.
You're
Yes.
100%. Okay. All right.
Cyrus, can we please talk about your spectacles,
Yeah,
which are not a part of our merch, but they should be.
So what I've done is, thanks to, was it Rishi or Vinay? One of the boys here went and fixed it a little bit.
Yes.
So as you can see...
I remember doing it in studio
you
with
did it.
Rishi
Yeah,
last
right,
time.
Right. So now I've pushed that half. So there are 2 legs to the thing,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
The one leg is okay. The broken one, we've added a little white
Yes.
substance to it.
Yeah.
And it now just about enters this ear paddy thingy
Yeah.
and holds it in place. But if I move vigorously, we may lose the specs.
Yes,
Reading
absolutely.
glasses cost 300 rupees.
Yeah.
Anup
300 rupees.
I haven't met Anup. He's got a pair waiting for me. We are almost the same number.
Reading glasses cost 300 rupees.
No, I have 2 other pairs. But one I keep in the
is it-
office and one I keep in the house, and this is
Isn't
the
it
car.
distracting to have half of your one lens
This is
covered
working. No,
with
this is
tape?
fine now. This is fine.
I
I don't want to be disrespectful. None of you are Priyanka
You know,
Chopra.
as
so what am I missing?
I love this. As you're talking about it, your specs have become more skewed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As you're talking about it.
No, it's
It could-
insane, right? I mean, like,
yes.
I'm so jealous of 300 rupees, reading glasses 300 rupees, because I have real glasses, right? And
Yes.
I have now gotten reading glasses, and so I have to get like these progressive lenses
Amit,
done,
you'll need some diclofenac
which are
to fool yourself. But let
Yeah.
me tell you what you've done.
Yeah.
Shall I tell them? Because it's, for toothache and eye problems and all that, he spent lakhs of rupees right now. And that's why he's upset. He
I
wants me to
am.
just
300
spend
rupees.
300.
300 rupees solves your
He has to
problem.
balance this. Yeah.
300 rupees solves your problem. Like literally, progressive
Why can't we
lenses,
get a
tens of
optician
thousands of rupees.
sponsor? What's the right word?
I don't
Glasses, Lawrence and Mayo, one of those
Yeah.
Yep.
Homie and company, and I see these signs everywhere. Please, if you're out there and you're willing, please help us. But Vinay is saying it was in China. Vinay is drinking alcohol again in the morning. I apologize for this. Vinay, why are you sending us messages? It was in China, disconnected from the conversation. Huh? Please text your answer. Nobody can hear you, you moron. There's no mic there. Text away. While he texts away,
Yes.
we go back to our leader, inspiration, who,
Okay,
was,
first
who,
of
who
all-
was not in the studio yesterday.
Yeah, first of
That's
all,
not something we
continuing
should, talk
continuing our big announcement about the release of IVM merch.
about. I'm wearing the shirt.
Yes,
Yes, you are.
I think only
It's a
once
great
I
t-shirt.
forgot. Now, how do I do this so I don't feel like getting up?
No, don't get up. That's fine. Antariksh should
Yeah.
have a graphic which will
Yeah,
show
yeah, yeah,
exactly
It should
that.
be
I'll do the best I
showing
can.
right now. So
I used to play the harmonium at classical weddings. You know? Lady da boomerang. And now, of course,
All
that's
right,
good.
some of our shirt
Yes.
designs. If you guys are interested, please go to the ivmpodcasts.com website and click on shop.
What if they want the glasses instead?
Well, you
Uh,
know what? I think what we should do is we should get a T-shirt done with like the glasses and the
Oh,
tape
that's
on
hilarious.
it.
That would be so
Yeah, I
funny.
think we should do that.
Agreed.
We
Yeah.
should talk about.
All right, so these are some of our designs. There are a lot more there, so please go check these out, guys. These are selling like
Oh,
hotcakes.
1 second. Sorry to I have to go back to this story because now this is driving me nuts. So Vinay's point about China was and as usual, Silverie, you the detail king, it was a crab story.
It is a crab. Crab, lobster, how?
No, that's like Bangalore and
no, no,
Chennai.
no, this was
You
lobster.
don't
No,
know.
this was
No,
significant.
you're
No,
gonna
this
start a
was a
war.
lobster. This I'm sure was a lobster, not a
Vinay
crab.
has got the
I am sure of
information.
this.
He's got it in front of him. It's a crab. There's a
No,
big
I-
difference. Yeah.
Okay,
Literally,
crustacean. A
science.
crustacean went into the frying pan by itself. But it did, right? It went in by itself, whatever it was. I'm pretty sure it was a lobster, though.
Now, if it was China, maybe it was given a offer it could
choice,
refuse. You know,
yes.
I mean, what do you
Either
do
go into
sometimes?
quarantine
We'll
or-
take all your children, or you get into the frying pan. Poor guy took one for the family, took one for the team. Respect,
Yep.
always.
Well,
Back to the shirt.
You guys heard what's
What if-
happening in Beijing? So basically,
well,
like
we sort of Vinay is sending us messages from China every 2 minutes. So yeah, I guess so. We got our correspondent here to the wall.
But in Beijing, overnight, in like the last 3 days, like 12,000, 13,000 residents have been moved to private hotels. To quarantine hotels.
Wow.
Because of 26 new cases, and they are in panic because this is the most they're seeing.
Right.
The rate of increase
Well,
of cases.
my daughter's school, Bombay International, closed yesterday. They had 6 cases in the 6th standard.
Oh,
and there
really?
was-
Really?
See, the problem here is if one parent panics, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
No one's going to call their bluff on that
Also,
one,
honestly,
right?
I mean, like if it's in the school, I mean, like it makes sense to
Yeah, and
kind
then
of
they've got siblings and
yeah,
so
do it
people
for a
panic.
little bit.
People
Yeah.
panic.
Yeah.
No, they've started the holidays early. They have
Yeah.
online class for 2-3 days and
there you
then
go.
off they go for vacation.
Yeah.
Of course, that made my daughter and me very happy. I had to keep picking and dropping her through this season because they don't have buses. And so she's
Wait,
back.
is she
at home.
also happier that she has to study from home?
But the studies are over. They finished the exams.
Okay.
Apparently, she says she failed because she got an A, and a lot of people get A plus. Apparently, but the world has changed in education. Huh? It's not like
Yeah.
Because when your child tells you I got A, but I failed, I'm like, okay, then I failed. Because I don't understand what you're saying. Really, I didn't ever get an A, bro. I don't know. Amit, what was
A,
it for
yes.
us? It was very
So
clear,
we
right?
had, we
Amit
didn't
got
have
only A
ABCD.
pluses.
No,
Amit, were you a good student?
I was a. So I
Don't
was
be
not-
ashamed.
No, I'm not ashamed.
It's
I
terrible
was-
when nerdy people are ashamed in public
Yeah.
to say they were great
Yeah.
at studies.
I feel like
Be
Amit was the
proud.
guy.
there were 3 people
I'm
in
black,
school.
gay, Jewish, and proud. Wear that T-shirt.
Okay, there were 3 people in my class who were significantly better than me, and I remember their names till
Only
today.
3
Oh,
yes.
3.
Yeah.
Competition.
Wow.
मेरा
Those
मैच
jokes.
मेरा मैच में fantastic है भाई only 3 का
Yeah.
मतलब क्या out of
Yes.
40 or something average 30 to
No,
40 per
100.
class
Amit has
out
remembered.
of 100
Yeah.
I'm walking out of the
Yeah.
show I'm going to China and jumping
Yeah.
into a frying pan
So basically, these 3 were like at the absolute top of the class, and then I was in
Amit,
the
what is
second
wrong with
level
you?
with like maybe another 4 or 5 people.
so you're in the top 10 of your class
Yeah.
closer to the top 5 and you're oh my god
sad, yes.
I mean I don't know you anymore Who
He has
are you?
remembered those 3 names his entire life.
He hates
Yeah.
those
Yes,
guys
he's
yeah.
always
No, no,
the
they're
best.
Father,
good
Son, and the Holy Ghost.
2 of them are good friends. I haven't seen the third one. In
But
like
Was he the
25
first
years.
one? The third one? Was
Here's
he
a
the-
question.
She. I have not seen her since
Here's a
school.
question. Not all the toppers or the top rankers, 5-10% that we grew up with, do really well.
So Navesh has done really well. He's a doctor in Baltimore.
Okay.
And
Just to make me look stupid. He's going to name all 5. One guy runs a country, the other one holds a lobster farm in China. Which is
I'm
crab.
not so much in touch with. One of them was a diamond merchant guy.
Oh,
So
wow.
he was in the diamond business. So I'm guessing he went into the family business. I
Yeah,
don't.
so
I
that's
don't
a
know.
waste
though.
of doing well, in a sense. Because he was even going to get into the business.
Yeah.
He didn't need to do really well in history, for example.
Correct.
Doesn't help him. Yeah. But I'm just saying, just for the duffers out there, and I hope only duffers are on this show, don't feel bad because lots of people who didn't do well, there's no correlation to all this.
No,
You know
there
that you do
Like,
toppers
for
do well in
instance,
life.
Abbas Momin has just commented in the chat
Yeah,
saying I
yeah.
was good in every subject except maths.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That in hygiene. I thought that was his weak point growing up.
What
All
was
right.
your weakest subject, Cyrus?
I was embarrassing. My Hindi was better than maths in 10th standard.
Oh, really?
Can you
Really?
believe it? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because maths, the geometry, I got almost 0.
Okay.
So I'm very good at arithmetic. I'm okay, middling in algebra, and I'm really bad in geometry.
Geometry is the easiest.
But I have very bad hands for drawing,
Okay.
circumscribing, and all that. I
Ruler, pencil, sharpen pencil.
you
that's
know,
all
you have no
need.
idea.
Okay.
You know the greatest artists of the world, the Da Vinci's and the Raphaels and the Buonarroti. Michelangelo's full name is Buonarroti. Don't want to show off, but I know all this. And so they can all do the circle on their own.
Freehand.
Yeah.
There are a few even in this generation.
No, there are lots who can do a freehand circle. It's
proper
one of the-
freehand
it's
circle.
one of the things they teach you in like art class. Like you go to an art class, they teach you how to do
Now
freehand.
look at me. I can't do a line which doesn't look like I'm drunk.
Yeah,
Just a small line.
So art was one of my weak things too. The one I was weakest in was Hindi. Hindi was my ICSE Hindi mark was 60.
Okay, here's another irony. My Hindi literature was always okay. Because I like literature even in whatever language.
Yeah, I
and you
did.
sort of get into it.
Yeah.
And you sort of root out a little bit. Language. Grammar. I mean, just the tenses. I'm still struggling with the tenses because the bloody language. the male and female is always divided everywhere. Gadi. It's a car, male or female. In the north, they all use gadi with female, but it's actually male. You know, if you go to a Chase Hindi speaker, so it's all over the place, man. This language needs correction. Someone has to correct the language.
Also, the matras get you, right?
Yeah.
Every matra is always wrong.
Yeah.
Marathi, I was also really bad at, but I didn't have Marathi late in school. I only had it in like the 4th and 5th
We had
standard.
it till the 8th, right? Our generation.
I think I had it till I think I had a 4, 5, 6. That's it. And, but the thing is that I had just come back from the US in the 2nd standard. So 3rd standard and then 4th standard Marathi, and that did not go well.
So with us, we had in the 8th standard, then Shiv Sena 95 came to power, and they took out Hindi and kept Marathi. So what do we do? You just have to fail one subject. You don't fail two. Yeah.
Have you ever had good third
What
language
about you?
teachers? My weakest was physics, especially in 11th.
But physics
I
is just
terrible.
mug, yeah.
I just never got it.
A horrible subject.
Easy,
terrible.
man. Physics
Chemistry was great.
Chemistry
I
was
like
hard.
chemistry.
Easy.
Chemistry was
Chemistry was
But chemistry can mug more.
chemistry was a mugging subject.
Mugging
Physics
subject.
was
No,
an understanding
so my
subject.
Learn
teacher-
all the balancing, valencies and all this in one shot.
I think it depends mostly on the teacher you have, right?
Shreyas is 8th standard dropout. He's
Yes,
don't worry.
let's not talk about
He's like, why are you discussing this?
Yeah.
No.
What is your weakest subject? Shreyas? All of them.
Bio was also another mugging subject. I never did well in bio.
I
actually-
like bio.
So I had
There's a naked girl in bio.
I had a really horrendous teacher, I guess, for lack of this, because
always a
I
teacher.
was horrible in school in bio, but I did quite well in my ICSE exams. Right, I got I think like 85 in the ICSE, but in school I would generally get like 2 on 25, 3 on 25, and
That
all
bad?
of it. Yeah,
You're one
like,
of us?
Oh God.
Like
You're not one of us.
really, really bad.
You're one of us. Yeah.
No, my physics and chemistry would make up for biology, so I do okay in science. But it was really, I never understood why. I
Bio, you
couldn't.
always had the sex organs and reproductive system and all that.
But the problem is the people are too
The
naked.
flowers are the
They're
problem.
too naked.
When
you know?
they-
But
when
there's
they-
never a
when the
naked
flowers are
body.
having sex, I was like, really, this pollinating thing is really getting you on. I mean, why would it, come on. What kind of social life do you have that you want to watch two flowers make out? Please, come on. Really.
The stamen and all that kind of shit. Right?
Oh,
That-
show off. Somebody liked the subject.
I did not like the subject. I kept getting stuck on that first page with the flower and the stamen and the
pollen.
The components of a flower.
Yeah.
That was the first chapter, right? And I kept getting stuck on that. I could not go ahead from there.
Let's try. The stem, right, is the middle part. The
Stem,
roots.
leaves, then from the flower you have the stamen, you have the...
Stamen was a little bit extra, I thought. I can't remember the stamen.
no, I remember the stamen.
Stamen is when you're in Bandra and a guy tells you
Stamen
to
cilia. I
stay
think
where
there
you
was
are. Stamen.
Stay, man.
There was something called the cilia in a flower too, I think.
Will you
Stamen
stop
and
this?
cilia.
We want people to listen. All right?
And you're saying you were bad at bio. So this is you being bad at a subject that you remember the
was
diagrams.
pretty
still.
bad at it.
Incredible.
No, there's one diagram. That's the only thing I remember.
But what about you? You
Yeah.
haven't spoken.
I was...
You appear to be a nerd, huh?
I was good at
See?
most subjects, but relatively, I think I was bad at geography. Geography was something
Okay.
that
But why?
got me.
Again, it's not really a...
But it is a mugging up subject.
Yeah,
That's
so
fine.
you were lazy, you mean? But how can you be bad at geography?
I think it was like a myth that like I had internalized as a kid that I'm bad at directions. Like my mom and dad were bad at directions, so I internalized it. And
What
then
is
that
direction going to do with geography in the test paper? I don't get that. They don't ask him.
No.
He's flying.
When
He
you
needs to have good
He's not
geography.
taking himself to fucking Cyprus.
I don't know.
He's just, pointing it out on a map.
But you still have to know. You still have to
Yeah.
imagine. I think if you can't, I have to Google directions from here to my house is 5 minutes away every third day still. Like I sometimes
Oh,
get lost.
that's actually true.
It's a straight line.
Have had to tell Shreyas multiple times, dude, that's not the direction to your house. This is from here, from the office.
Good, then we're cousins.
And he stays less than a kilometer away, he says.
The number of times I have made up fake friends to be like, no, I'm meeting that friend, then I'm going home. I have more
So you're
fake friends than
geographically
real
challenged.
friends.
It's not geographically challenged in school, but I get your point. I'm also like that. That's fine. That's okay. That's why they gave us GPS. No? They realized a lot of people, our tribe is out there. It's numbering a lot of people. Fair enough.
All right.
Okay.
Talking about schools, though, there is also a sad bit of news that has just come out.
Oh, right.
There was a school shooting in Uvalde, Texas, where a student, showed up with a gun and shot. 18 students died, and one more teacher as well. So 19 people passed away, and the student had already killed his grandmother before showing up to school and shooting up the school.
And this is how old the
This is just
perpetrator?
I think it was like
17.
17, 18, high school kid.
Yeah, high school
Literally
kid.
like a kid.
Elementary school. This was still
Elementary school.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
the school was the elementary school. Kid
Okay.
was from high school.
Okay.
Elementary school kid shooting up 18.
Yeah, that's-
I don't know about you guys, but I felt we should have stayed with the
So
vulture
sad.
story.
Yeah, it
seems so
much nicer.
This is just unnecessary
Wait,
to get
this
into
is
this.
just just out.
But
It's 21 students now, someone has said.
We can just say one thing though. The correlation between gun use and America, that big debate that goes on. See, end of the day, we have lots of crime here, but I don't think we have this kind of mass killings of... No, the people who do it would be, say, a right-wing nutcase or religious nutcase and all that shit happens. But they have these loose cannons in public who basically are just disconnected from other people.
I think the average person doesn't have access to guns here, right?
Yeah.
It's just
No, but
so
that's
much.
actually exactly what Joe Biden said. He was on his way back from Japan, and his...
Or was it Amitabh Bachchan? Because that's the thing we do in the show.
I think that you're
Bachchan versus
teasing.
Biden. Coming soon. Yeah, go on.
But he said on his way back, right, that I mean, like, they have disturbed people in Asia. They have people who are problematic. They just don't have access to guns like this, right?
There you
And
go.
so one
Now it's
thing...
the Democrats versus Republic philosophical debate which continues.
But it's interesting in that sense, though, right? Like one of the things that the guy who runs the Senate, right, just said that immediately there's a bill been pending in the Senate for the last 3-4 years, which basically forces background checks before you can buy a gun. And he said that I'm going to bring that bill up so that everybody has to be on
But
Is
record.
the bill already in place?
Yeah,
No, the NRA, right? There's like a huge, the National Rifle
How does a
Association.
70-year-old kid get his hands on a gun? I'm sure there's an ID issue and all that involved.
It's not there right now in different places.
So he just walks in and gets a gun like popcorn.
So there are there's something called the gun show loophole. There's a bunch of different ways where you can kind of get guns, and also they're all over the place.
I walk into the store. I'm an 18-year-old. Forgive me.
Yeah.
I walk into the store.
You can't walk into a store, but you can go to a gun show. You go to a gun show.
What's a gun show?
A gun show is an exhibition.
And there I can pick it up.
Yes.
And no questions asked.
No questions. Or I mean, like, theoretically, you're supposed to give a
show
license.
ID card or something, but they're not going to check who you are, your background, whatever.
I've heard jokes about like you can buy a gun at Target. Is that true?
No, I don't think it's true.
Okay.
I think
Don't put the responsibility on our biology expert.
I don't know, but I would not be surprised. I know you can buy. I'm fairly sure that there are large stores where you can buy hunting rifles, shotguns, those kinds of things, because those are actually kind of tools.
See,
The problem is this kind of this machine gun shit, right? That's the big.
Correct.
That's where all
That's
this.
what they said, that those kind of handguns are one thing, and then you take it further. But also the jugaad of America is different from, say, the way we do our jugaad here. Whereas there must be, we don't know about it, but he might know, having lived there for a long time. There are ways to get your IDs, gun, doctor.
You go to college, you get an ID. 100% Mikhail has an ID.
Yeah,
101% he has a 21-year-old ID.
Yeah. So
that was literally a part of orientation.
I think in Canada they're allowed to drink at 18. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
But,
so then maybe they're lucky. But I mean, like everybody I knew when I was a freshman, and that was 30 years ago. Had an ID.
But it starts with that. But I'm saying if you can do that just for drinking or just for entering some place or whatever, then once you get a fake ID, you can go places with it, right? Then getting because I'm 32 on it. You tend to give the guy a break.
Amit, what do you think would be the chances of this having an effect to change laws in Texas?
Because they have it every 2 weeks, brother.
No, this is different, man. This is kids. This has kids hasn't happened since Sandy Hook. Right, this is like
I
really
shudder to think how many
kids.
colleges have been shot up and
No, so I mean, but again, those are generally older, right? They're generally 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 in that kind of. This is like second, third, and
but
fourth
you think
standard.
Texas will crumble? Texas will never crumble.
Texas will not crumble, but I think that it's
an ego issue for them.
So background checks, right? So. Basketball in the morning. This thing was addressed by Steve Kerr, coach of Golden State Warriors, right? Okay. And he was like really pissed off and gave a really fiery press conference. Yeah, he's like, I mean, like, instead of play, there is supposed to be a game. Instead of, I'm tired of these moments of silences that we need to keep happening. And like, he just went off on this whole thing, and he brought up the background check.
What's his background in terms of
his father was a diplomat in Egypt who was assassinated. So he actually does have like a very kind of social. So he was not a diplomat. I think he was a professor at the American University in Egypt.
Why would he be? Well, who the assassinated professor?
Well, I mean, like, dude, he's an American professor at the American University at a time when Egypt had a lot of anti-American sentiment. So, I mean.
Shreyas, don't make any more mummy jokes. Egypt's a touchy country.
Neha Bhale has said that Texas had just lowered the gun ownership age to 18.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
They lowered it in spite of all the things that happen every year.
It's because again, there is the philosophy is, right, that the solution to a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun, which is nonsense and moronic, but that's the philosophy. So, yeah.
I also feel now there's a culture of just mass shooters, right? So if you're someone who wants to shoot, there's so much precedent. There are manifestos you can read.
The word is inspirational.
Yeah,
they're
it's
inspirational.
Yeah.
That's a horrible thought, but actually people get off on, I want to be like this guy. What happened to other heroes like myself? Why can't you look up at people like me and say, I want to be like this guy? Take diclofenac and go back and work out.
There's actually a really strong kind of this that we should never name who these people are. There's a movement around
not valorize them.
Along with the terrorists, for example, why do we give them so much attention? You know, I know this has happened and all, but we give them too much attention. We humanize them too much.
Yeah.
You know, after some time, people start, you can't help it. You start feeling sympathetic. Oh, he ate such and such food. No. It's just evil. That's it. Let's just end it there. Okay, but Silverie, I think out of the four of us, I'm worried about you having a gun. You're a little unpredictable. Shreyas is very, very soft
It's
and
possible.
sensitive.
Someday, who knows? Maybe I
anyone.
show up to office with a gun.
Yeah.
Amit.
No, the only thing is that the school would have finished and everybody would have left by the time you turn up. So luckily, that we got that going for us. Yeah.
Okay, I think Amit, you need to get a gun for self-protection. That's how it starts, right? What if he has one?
Because he was asking the questions that mattered, like you can go to Target and get. He was asking for advice from Uncle Amit. Just in case I'm in America.
How much he knows about
at the
guns.
time. Let me just pick up something. Okay, let's not make light of this horrible story. Now, next.
Let's go to a much happier story, though.
Yeah.
Hey, we have somebody commenting from Facebook. I'm sorry, that just is such an unusual thing that when I see it, I'm
Are
like,
you aging?
Aditya.
Are you aging the show, Amit?
No, mostly we have comments come on YouTube, but somebody actually sent a comment from Facebook. So thank you, Aditya Raju, for listening to us on
Aditya.
Facebook.
Just read it out.
Okay,
It's an interesting
Aditya has
point.
said that students here are under so much pressure to get into science and medical that they have nothing left to even think of anything rather than killing yourself.
No, I know he's saying it tongue in cheek,
Yes.
but that's a different thing. The kind of, that everybody sort of goes through, but this kind of thing is, I don't understand the mentality. Now you want to talk about this a little longer. The mentality of a person who kills innocent people. We had that pilot who took the plane down recently in China, right? He killed everybody on board. So, and we had one in Malaysia sometime back before that as well. If they're not well, what Mr. Raju says, I understand, but why would you take I understand. I'm not saying please do not commit suicide, but why would you take other people with you? That I don't understand that. What's the connection?
There's no logic to this stuff. Listen,
because that's evil.
People who are doing this, right, they're mentally disturbed, and that's one of the challenges that needs to be kind of looked at in this sense. No, these are mentally disturbed people. If you are in a mentally...
But how does he justify it to himself? I'm just trying to think for a second from his head. What's the mental thought in his head? What is the reverse empathy he's feeling that he needs to do this?
How can you possibly relate to somebody who has these kinds of thoughts in their head, right?
No,
it's not
because
possible,
Mr. Raju's point is well made, I thought, because we can all have that feeling where we feel frustrated and finished or whatever, Silverie, every day after the podcast, he looks up at the fan and, okay, I'm just kidding. No, I stop.
Yeah. Look down the fourth floor window.
No. Stop that. Listen.
All right.
But I think there are various reasons. One is alienation, social alienation. One more trend that we are seeing is it's racially, the killings are racially motivated. I don't think this one, but the one before this, the shooter believed in the replacement theory.
The white, this thing.
Exactly.
There are some which are racial component, but not all of them, or not even a lot of them.
Right.
A lot of the mass killings that you see are
okay. So
within
we're
race.
not justifying anything. Let's get this clear.
Yeah.
What he's saying is simply that you are now looking at what the logic for that person is.
Right.
Where here we're not finding any logic.
No, but you can see some logic, but at the same time, the person who decides to kill multiple people, there is something wrong.
That's what I'm
with
saying.
how they are thinking.
This is the same psychopath syndrome that the parents should pick up. The guy kills animals or beats other kids up for nothing.
Checking on the mental well-being or just having better mental health, the kind of
but
stuff
this is why
is
I'm saying
important.
exactly the point he made up, and I think people should really think about that. Is when in your group, even as a child and even later as adulthood in corporates, wherever you work, etc. Be careful of just disrespecting someone all the time without knowing it, where it becomes like a game.
I hate bullying. I hate it.
No, it becomes you don't know you're bullying. I think I'm guilty of that a lot. You get into a group and you all pick on one guy. You sometimes don't know. You think the guy's having a good time, but over a period of time, the resentment builds up, and then I don't know. I'm just saying. So Silverie, please, I'm sorry if we pull your leg too much.
Yes,
really,
it's
sweetie.
I forgive you now, sir. It's fine.
Come and sit on my lap. Let me braid your hair. Let's make out.
All right. So up to next up is a very, very happy kind of news where a dog by the name of Eva protected her owner from a mountain lion attack.
Yeah, I read that.
In Northern
German
California.
Shepherd, no? German Shepherd.
It says it's a Belgian Malinois.
Oh, Malinois.
Yeah, looks like a
first cousin of a
German Shepherd. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So basically what happened is this woman named by the name of Erin Wilson was hiking in Northern California with her dog, and she got attacked from behind by a mountain lion. The mountain lion scratched her shoulder.
They always attack from behind, just like
and
the leopard.
She just shouted Eva, her dog's name. The dog came rushing, bashed into the lion. Okay, and of course the lion is a lot more stronger animal, so the dog was severely injured. She had like injury on her eye, she got a skull fractures, but she protected her human.
And the thing is, what I know about wildcats is the moment they're in a fight, because they're worried that they'll get hurt and not be able to hunt, so they always back off if there's a risk, whether there's a porcupine or even a wolverine who fights to the death, or even a smaller dog. If the dog's putting up a fight, the chances are they'll back off at some point, because that fear is. I have that same fear. I'm always worried I can't work out the next day, so I always like, guys, let's not fisticuff each other. Sorry, go back to your story.
So after the incident, the dog had to be moved to the hospital, and she has since made a full recovery, and she's back at home.
Super.
But what a great, cool dog.
You don't have to sell that to me, bro. The story and German Shepherds, Malinois, those kind of dogs. I mean, they just go straight.
Gorgeous looking dogs.
They go into the fire against their instinct to save.
Yeah.
You think the dog knows that she has done something heroic, or for her it's just like a dog, another day in the life?
Dog is everyday work. Protect the pack, protect the alpha, whatever happens.
Yeah.
I was hoping you guys would do that to me. I'm trying to get parking. Where are you guys? We don't have mountain lions. We have parking issues. Come down and help me. Come down and help me park the car, man. That's my mountain lion. But I mean, let's ask the American expert.
Yes.
How come? I thought they're almost like extinct now. Why are they mountain lions? Not that they shouldn't be, but they're coming closer and closer. It's like a leopard
It's
issue
not
in
coming
Bombay.
closer. We are going further and further.
Oh, so this is a trek in India where she should have been careful.
Well, I mean, like, it's just basically that we are encroaching on habitats.
But don't you have warning signs saying dangerous animal, predators, possible?
Sure, I'm sure there must be here, but people who are nature people are nuts. They do what they want to do. They don't really. They see a mountain lion, they think it's something to pet.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've seen such horrible bear stories about people who follow bears, study them for years, and then get killed.
Yeah,
but bear is a very unpredictable animal. The moment they go to the hibernating kind of period, they'll eat anything because their body tells them, "I need to eat."
Wild animals are wild. I mean, like, they're unpredictable.
My wife calls me a wild animal. Back in the day when I could still do it.
All right. Time for our Jupiter improv segment of the day. All right. This is going to be a lot of fun. The prompt for today
for
is...
those of you who put off the show, then stop the podcast.
Dude, I get messages.
Understand.
I get messages that a lot of people are very excited when we
everyone in Powai who messages you is in the building.
Sure, yeah, that's
Try and understand the
Mom and her
geography.
friends, yes.
Geography ki baat hai.
The prompt for today is managing multiple bank accounts is as difficult as stopping after one drink at a party where everyone is going, yaar ek aur, yaar ek aur, yaar ek aur.
As difficult as finding non-veg food in status restaurant. I tried. I had no idea.
That's a loose game. That's a losing game. They're not winning that. Difficult and impossible are two different things.
Oh, the nerd. The education king has started pointing out the mistake in the answer. Oh, I'm disqualified, guys. I've just been disqualified. Where's my gun?
Well, at least you can come up with stuff. I can't come up with any other stuff.
Come on. Go back to school. Think of anything in school. Which is tough.
Oh, yeah. As difficult as learning how flowers, what flowers parts are, because I googled while we were talking and it's
quite complicated.
Okay, I want to stop the game for a second. This is something we got to talk about. This is a live show and it's so interesting to him that he stopped to Google stem and stamen.
No, so stamen is a real thing, but cilia is not. What I thought was cilia was actually stigma.
You will never get a female in your life.
I like how nobody tried to correct Amit also, because none of us know the parts.
Anyway. We can't encourage him. He's like a madman now. He's going off with his free and flower knowledge. How do we sell the podcast? We can't sell the merch. We can't sell the subjects. Now we go down to the flower discussion.
Okay, managing multiple bank accounts is as difficult as trying to keep your shirt looking ironed after like an hour of driving.
What is it? Managing different bank accounts is as difficult as getting Abbas to wear really tight bras. Because I think
You've
You've tried. Listen, brother, let me tell you. When I was about 3-4 kilos heavier, we did one gag in a female thing in Malad. What's it called? Not female thing. The shop it sells underwear.
Okay.
It's called something lingerie shop or whatever. And she humored me because I came in with a wig and all that. And they help you tie the bra on. And I couldn't find anything to fit me.
Okay, wow. Yeah. The entire shop you couldn't find.
It was damn tough to get the hooks on and all that. Okay. Because we didn't anticipate that problem. We had a gag plan every time. But just putting the damn thing on was such a headache. So let me tell you, size is a big issue here. I don't want to brag because the florist will come into it with his story about how the sunflower.
I think managing different bank accounts is like being a polyamorous individual with multiple partners and then being like, okay, now monogamy is for me, and then finding the right partner and then failing to.
I think geography was a better issue. This is more. I think you and Amit go outside and have a conversation.
Man.
You're too complex with your thinking.
Shreyas and his first world problems.
We are simple
I'm
guys. Yeah,
polyamorous.
really.
What the hell?
No, then he reverses it.
Yeah.
Then what happened?
Oh, but I want to be. I don't want to be polyamorous.
Who gets 32 girls, and then finally, what happens? I'm going to be like the flower. Do flowers mate for life or whatever? Do they pollinate for life, or they do it again and again?
The flowers don't reproduce sexually.
That's true, but after they have the pollination, what happens?
They pollinate again.
I was not good at biology. I like I said,
Is
this
that
is
why
the
you-
only
is that
thing
why
I
you're Googling
remember.
it? Is that why you're Googling
This
it?
was the only thing I remember. The flower diagram, which was the first chapter of the ICSE syllabus, and I kept staring at it over and over and over again. It's the only thing I remember from biology.
I only remember the word gonads. We were so excited when we came out of class. Everyone was like, that's what they call it, gonads. And for about 3 weeks, everyone was saying gonads, man.
Yeah. Also, let me just correct you. Flowers do reproduce sexually.
Hi!
Pollination that's a sexual process.
Shreyas.
It's just confirmed. Fact
Shreyas
check.
identifies
Oh,
himself
wow.
as a rose.
Oh, wow, okay.
Please understand. Totally. Yeah.
I'm just imagining Shreyas with like, you know how we used to have soldiers
Yeah.
toys. He has like 2 flowers and he's making them kiss.
Imagine a duel between Amit and Shreyas will be biology versus geography, right? Because they're trying to get into each other's bad space. So that's a huge scrap going on. Yeah, I'll pollinate your mom. Yeah, right. I'll take you to Arkansas. Show me how to get back.
All right, just
Do
finishing.
you think in communities of plants, when they have to show a sex scene, they show humans instead of
Yo!
plants? They're like,
Yeah.
All right, final. Managing multiple bank accounts is as difficult as getting away with tackling a comedian on stage because you can't do that anymore. Don't tackle me on
Apparently,
stage.
Jamie Foxx will kick your ass.
Yes, Jamie Foxx will kick your ass in a
But
cowboy hat.
Indian comedians, you can put them in jail and stuff. So we're okay.
Yeah, jail you can put, but you
Yeah.
can't tackle them on
yeah,
stage.
you can beat them also. I think
Not
you'll be
yet.
fine.
Wasn't Morabar arrested on stage? He was about to go on stage and they
yes.
took him off and all
He
that.
was
so-
almost beat up, but not.
No, they
quite.
must have hit him a little bit, bro. He's not made a big deal out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Hitting me, they don't punch in the face, but they
Yeah.
push you, they shove you,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
disrespect you. It's
That's
what I do in the gym when I don't like people. I just shoulder them out for no
Yeah.
reason, and now I'm feeling pain. Shouldn't do that.
So hitting an American comedian on stage, yes, you can't do that.
Okay,
anymore.
so back to race related.
But American professors, you can. Those you.
Let's not in this segment.
Okay.
Let's not talk about that. This is-
You can't find them because your geography is
Yes,
weak.
we
So
have-
don't just stay here.
we have very fun sponsors. Let's not.
Yeah. So now it's time for me to discuss with you guys something I've, your geography is your problem, biology is your problem. But for me, the only problem I have is banks. So let me just understand my problem here because I may forget it. See the modulation.
That was very
That's
nice.
the voiceover expert.
I'm very sold. I want to stop right now.
Have
Download
you
the
got
app
the other
right
three?
now.
There was Amit the American. Then there was, I don't know what Silverie is.
Silverie was,
It was like he was breathing through some
Powai.
sex scene or something through the whole thing. And then we have the platform announcer from Car Station, Mr. Abbas. Oh my God. Let's hear it right now.
Abbas
in
is
fact.
coming up, yes.
Let's see, here it is.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcasts Network. On The Habit Coach, Ashton delves into the power of meditation with spiritual guide Swami Purna Chaitanya. On Misconduct, Raghavi and Nisha tell us the story of Neha Verma, who killed 3 women in cold blood. On Cyrus Says Cock and Bull, Cyrus, Puneet, Utsav and Antariksh talk about the Tamil Nadu woman who disguised herself as a man for 36 years to avoid sexual harassment. On The Longest Constitution, Priya takes a look at the contest between private, commercial and constitutional interests. And on Big Talk about tiny humans, Devi Shobha and Meghna tell us how we can raise awareness about child sexual abuse. We've got some exciting news for you. IVM Podcasts has just launched its merch and our first line is out now. Head to the IVM Podcasts website and click on the shop tab to check out our first collection of t-shirts. Do follow us on social media. We are IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Don't forget to rate us on any platforms you're listening on. You can also check us out on YouTube. We are also doing a small listener survey to better understand how you respond to our shows and advertising on the network. We would really appreciate if you could spare a few minutes to fill it. It helps us build better shows for you. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week: SBI Life Insurance, Jupiter, a digital banking app, and Capgemini. Get the future you want.
hello. So we had an argument offline while the ads were going on. Did Amit have 3, 4 or 5 hellos? I said 4 and Amit himself said 3. And then Rishi has pointed it out by checking it is 5.
Guys,
It's one occasion of
guys,
five.
that was
It's not-
Abbas, not Amit. I don't know what you're talking about.
Believe me, everybody knows it's Abbas, including Abbas. Yeah.
Oh, sexy promo voice is back.
Yeah.
Abbas.
Said by Abbas. Amazing.
All right. So next topic is out from Punjab. The Punjab CM Bhagwant Mann has
The
basically-
comedian.
Yes, just yesterday.
Yeah.
He made an announcement, a video announcement, saying that he has sacked the Health Minister of the state of Punjab, Vijay Singla, because of corruption. Basically, he got caught in a corruption, like a sting operation that they did. Basically, what happened about 10 days back, a government official who has decided to stay anonymous made a tip off to Bhagwant Mann's office saying that this person, Vijay Singla, is asking for like 1% of all tenders and purchases made to the health department of Punjab.
Very good.
Okay, and
They investigated it and found out that it was
found out
true.
that it was actually true.
But
and
one
since
sec,
then,
in his defense, he thought he was the wealth minister, not health minister.
Yeah.
Punjabi talk fast. He's like, oh, health minister, you can't quite tell.
that's true. So since then, Vijay Singla has been arrested for 3 days of judicial custody.
Yeah.
Police remand he has 3 days of, and in the video. Bhagwant Mann said that he admitted to it. Yes, मैंने किया ये.
No, I think
But since after that, when he during his court appearance, he said that no, this is a conspiracy against our party and
Vijay
Bhagwant Mann's
Singla
party.
has gone on record to say that he was very upset with the judicial custody because he couldn't sleep at night because Sidhu kept talking. So, so that's a fair point.
Did
you know,
he keep talking? Oh, God.
Yes.
by the
Did
way-
he keep talking or did he keep farting?
Oh, stop
No,
that.
you saw his
Yes.
diet.
Yeah.
They want to eat millet rotis, which is that causes stomach issues.
Fair enough. So if it's a popular situation with lots of people in plurality, that's going to be a problem. But I just want to point out to Navjot Singh Sidhu, if I can reach out to him somehow, my good friend, Supreme Court lawyer, now back in Bombay, the one and only Abad Ponda, is saying he would like to take up this case. So seriously, if anyone knows Sidhu,
For Sidhu.
yeah, he's explained to me, I won't say it online, what the reasons are, that why he feels this is an erroneous, allegedly erroneous judgment. So let's get, anybody knows Navjot Singh Sidhu, you can reach him and get him to talk to us for 2 minutes, diet or no diet. We will try and support him, not support him, but I'll just pass on the message. I don't want to support anyone.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
worried.
not
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
it. He
yeah.
killed
That sounds
somebody.
wrong.
He killed somebody,
But
dude.
allegedly.
But okay,
You know, I mean, yeah.
he
But
kind of
It's
did.
not like the, I'm not, okay. Well, I mean, so over the flowers, you've just become so aggressive, man.
He killed somebody. He
I-
kind of
you
did.
know,
I know there was a
It's a-
time
it's a
difference
linear leap,
between
but
the
it's a
actor
leap.
No,
and
it was the
death.
hockey player who killed the person,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Sidhu. He was just standing there.
All right.
Let's be realistic.
Okay, let's go back to school.
Yes.
School was
so,
better.
but I think this is a great move for the AAP party because showing that we are ready to take action against our own leaders is great when you have to take action against others' leaders, because then they can't say, "Arey, tum BJP ke
Only
liye, why are you speaking
Congress
against
dare
BJP?"
take action against their leaders.
That's never gonna happen. That's never
Ain't
gonna
happening.
No,
But
it's
that's a good point. That's a good move, because
Yeah.
tomorrow if they find corruption in the
But do you
BJP,
think when Bhagwant Mann,
if they find,
but
yeah.
when he calls up this Vijay guy and talks
Yes.
to him, do you think he actually tells him a joke before, like, foreplay?
Yeah.
Suniye, and then he gets into
like maybe tells him a corruption joke
Yeah,
while he's at
corruption
it.
joke,
Yeah,
and then he
correct.
says, "Ye mere point thi."
Very possible.
I think going by how impressed you are by this whole situation, I have to say this is staged. It's meant to be a PR exercise.
Well,
I don't buy
would,
it.
I would agree. But if it's true, but if it's true that this person was in fact corrupt and they caught him and they didn't get brushed under the rug. He put it out in the open and sacked the person.
Okay,
That is impressive.
let's look at it from the real premise here, which is nobody doubts corruption and Indians
That's
in
true.
power. I mean,
That
that's
is
not
also
the
true,
issue.
yes.
The issue is whether you really want to tell on your fellow
Yeah,
brother
yeah.
with corruption in power. That's the issue, actually.
It's also possible that they did this because there was a government official who they thought could have gone
And
public.
brought the house down.
Exactly.
Because if
So
he didn't
they
respond,
we have
that's
to
a good
get
point.
in-
Basically,
yeah, get in-
this is all like Inception corruption, right? We're finding levels and
yeah,
levels and
yeah.
levels and levels.
No, it's like a chess game. You're right, because you're being forced to
Yeah.
counter move because of this
Yeah.
pressure from the other
Yeah.
side. Yeah, that makes sense. So what we're saying is there's no goodness in this story. It's majboori of sorts
I
and
understand.
desperation. Yeah.
Yes.
I think
That's
snitches
fair.
are the problem from this story is my takeaway. If there are no snitches, there's no corruption. You won't know about it.
Yeah.
But AAP has done it before, right? I mean, like, listen, I have so many problems with AAP. It's not even funny. They really are not great
And they rhyme
in
with
terms
pop.
of policy and stuff
Yeah.
like that, right? But this one issue, they've been kind of they've done this before, right? They did it. One of Kejriwal's ministers was sacked before. So, I mean, like, I hear what you're saying. I get what you're saying. And I'm not like, I'm no rosy wood eyes. Because again,
sacking for perceived corruption is different from sacking and a guy serving a sentence.
Yeah.
Because then they're seeing it through, and that's different. You're punishing your own, exactly what he said. That shows a little gumption. Or not, or Shreyas is finding the bad reasons for it, which is not entirely untrue.
No,
in our
it's
country.
entirely possible, and it's entirely being cynical is the right way to look at this shit, because no matter how deep your cynicism is, you're probably still just scratching the surface.
And in India, when you're being cynical, you're being positive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right. Are we the only ones who laugh? Because I don't know what the people outside who are listening to the show are doing. That's a good question. Like Shaker Suman, movers and shakers, but he would laugh and then everyone would laugh after him. He'd like say something, or Parsi ne kya kaha Hindi mein? And I'd say something and he'd go, ha 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 ha! And then all the chamchas would laugh. It would be like a laugh track. Yes. And you'd be forced to laugh also because you want to be like, disrespectful.
It sounds very similar to your show as well.
You take that up with Kunal Vijaykar. Because I'm against the laugh track since I was 4 years old.
I know.
All right?
I know. You still have that laugh track?
Yeah, because I'm not used to people laughing. People abuse me all the time and heckle me. But he's a touchy Indian male, they better laugh.
Instead of a laugh track, you should have a sweat, like an abuse track. That'll be very funny.
You speak Marathi, no? Call him up.
I'll done.
Please tell him.
Yeah.
Oh, people don't know when to laugh. People don't know when to laugh. Your fucking joke is that
they laugh when they want to laugh. No,
I mean, you're the guy who has a Bengali accent for a Tamil character, and you're telling me, it's fun on so many levels.
Okay. So we have an option. We have some time. We can either cover one more
let's
quick
do
story.
the service tax thing. I'm not going to be on for the
There's a
service charge.
suggestion we end the show early and everybody's happy.
No,
That's
not
never
the
happen.
That's not.
National corruption of my own, beta.
So basically, the Department of Consumer Affairs has come forward in defense of consumers, saying that restaurants are levying service charge. And they've been doing it aggressively. Some of them, like, it could go up to like even 10% off the bill.
Yeah, and I can't see it on the bill sometimes, and I still pay the tip.
So they are not being. They are not being transparent.
It's really small.
Yeah. They are not being transparent as to.
300 became sorry, bro. We're having internal fight.
399.
You said 300, and now it's 400. So I was thinking 300 and change and gone to the operation, and I have to come back with half a glass or something. Sorry, go on.
So the Department of Consumer Affairs is saying that basically they've called for a meeting with the NRAI, which is the National Restaurants Association of India, to address this issue, saying that restaurants don't always make it clear. Firstly, it's voluntary. It's not mandatory to pay the service
that's
charge.
why only some have it. Correct.
Exactly. So firstly that. Secondly, restaurants, when people bring it up, the restaurants try to embarrass the person into paying it. You can't even pay this much. What is this? What is wrong with this? So, khate kyun yahan pe pay nahi kar rahe? That kind of stuff. And so,
well, if they give me an option that I serve myself, then I can go to the kitchen and get the food myself, and I not pay that 10%. I don't mind that, honestly.
The Consumer Affairs Department basically believes, or what it says is that the law is that it is not compulsory. And when you are agreeing to paying for something on the menu, for the price on the menu, you are paying only for that. You're not paying for the services. You're not agreeing to pay for the services of the restaurant.
No, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying the service charge per se is not the problem. It's the lack of service charge. When you have a lack of service and they still charge, that's my problem.
Yes,
that's a lot.
Yes, that does happen. Yes, correct. But that's like a major problem. And in the next 7 days, in the next week, the 2nd of June, they've called for a meeting with the NRAI.
Okay, now let me not ask my Maharashtrian brother to explain because they don't want to spend money. Let me go to my Gujarati brother. He'll explain.
Yes.
What do you think is the right thing to do? Because this is a bit of a pain.
This is that I don't think a service charge should be applicable, but I also do not like tipping culture.
You're an American.
No, I don't like tipping. I think tipping is ridiculous.
Why?
Because.
But if it's a fair amount, like it's 10% and that's the law, like in your mind.
But I mean, like I don't. So basically, the reason for service charge is because tipping culture exists. That's why the restaurants charge service charge.
Stop it.
And tipping culture should not exist. Tipping culture, basically, it is completely unfair to the people who are working because restaurants count that, but it's variable income, but it's not really. You don't know what you're going to get, and it tips very widely, right? I mean, like we go to the same restaurant, we order the same meal,
and then they treat people differently depending on how much you're tipping.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody tips $100, somebody tips $500.
It's an American concept. It was born in America, and in America, it gave people like Amber Heard a job. And that's what because they didn't have work, and now she may have to go back to tables.
But I think tipping is that's the root cause of the issue here, that this tipping culture is destructive.
I'd rather pay labor and not pay for the food. Honestly.
Well, I mean,
I feel bad for the human being, but sometimes the food
but
is why am I paying?
The thing is that if you're going to have tipping culture, tipping should be kind of uniform. It shouldn't matter how.
Hence the service charge.
Hence the service charge.
So what should we do?
So I would rather restaurants should incorporate the price and say no tips. That would be my
So the
ideal
service
preference.
charge is mandatory at a certain amount, 4%.
No, forget the percentage. Just put it into your pricing. Now, why are you even putting this as a separate line item?
But then how do they know they get it and all that? Because they've just put it inside the pricing. Then how do you know that the waiter
our servers are paid appropriate salaries? You do not
don't
need
touch
to tip them.
Like don't pet the animal. Don't touch the
No,
waiter.
you don't need to tip. Tips are not expected. Just say something like that, right? And
What
then,
a waiter comes with a hard luck story.
but that's a different. So first, how many? So the first thing that I would ask, right, is how many restaurants are really affected by this? It's mostly expensive restaurants, right? Mostly some of the more expensive.
So I don't go to those. Silverie?
No, I mean like all the restaurants you go to are expensive only, right? I mean like maybe your cafe ideal is not, but
only
your
to,
Lings
only, to
is.
use only to use the toilet.
No, but Lings is no. I mean like compared to
Not
the
really expensive.
It's not expensive, but I mean like a restaurant at Lings caliber would be the kind of restaurant that would charge a service
I
charge.
only go to Links.
Yeah. So they would probably charge service charge, right? But then if you go to like, a Udupi or something like that, I don't think that they are charging service charges. I don't think Santosh Sagar or Shiv Sagar charge service charges. It's the more expensive places that you go to. And I mean like they should just
If
incorporate it.
Santosh, for those who don't know, Santosh Sagar and Shiv Sagar are these real Udupi sort of restaurants where you get your South Indian fast food sort of thingy, where we school, college kids of our area used to go when we were young. If they have service charge, when basically the guy comes like Carl Lewis and hits you and runs back, you know what
essentially.
service? Literally, you just ask for your dosa, it hits you and goes back. It's like that. I don't know. But
I think my take is that service charge should actually be somewhere close to 20 to 25%, and that should not include the tips that go to the waiters, because I come from a restaurant family and
Wait, what? Your family has a restaurant?
yeah,
No,
and it's
why-
by the way, you didn't pick up his friend. She said restaurant without
Restaurant,
the T.
family.
And he said it in this
Yes,
arrogant
yes.
Maharashtrian way, where he looks down on you. So
Yes.
he's not telling you to learn.
Yes.
He's saying it so that you now know your place. I respect that, Shreyas. I respect that. I've grown
What
up
is
with
this
you
restaurant?
people.
it's a buffet restaurant.
Buffet,
yeah.
not buffet.
Yes.
Restaurant, restaurant. Let me tell you, Foucault. You Foucault.
Yes, you're saying. Buffet restaurant?
Yeah, so I just think that
No, tell us about the restaurant first. Where is
about the restaurant.
Yeah, you hid this secret.
It's
It's like being gay. You have to tell us.
it's exactly like that. It's called Vishnu Ji Ki Rasoi.
Oops.
It's a
Sorry,
buffet
Maharashtrian
I
and
take my remark
Punjabi
back.
vegetarian food. And it's
Maharashtrian and Punjabi. That is
Vegetarian buffet.
This is a hardcore
vegetarian.
I feel like you're making up a restaurant with Badawa rice right now.
Brahmin family in
Dude, this
Nagpur
is
is
like-
giving.
Dude, no, it's not
Silverie.
just. It's Pune, it's Nagpur, it's Latur.
Silverie.
It's like a chain.
Huh?
Yeah, it's
Silverie.
also
Yeah.
There's corruption here.
Thane.
Yeah.
California and Texas.
this is
My
nepotism.
very
Wow.
upper class Brahmin caste Nagpur Marathi speaking family is making Punjabi food. How dare
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
How dare they?
Let's start a riot outside.
I'm going to start a riot. Yeah. So you're a big shot, huh?
Yeah.
This comedies or crap?
It's my side gig.
You're
know?
going to be an announcer in your restaurant.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so proud. Take Abbas, Abbas.
Yeah.
Bolo roti, 5 rupiah, 5 roti, 10 rupiah, naan, paratha.
So that's why you are in support of extra service charge.
That's why I'm in support. But I think going by that, you shouldn't listen to what I'm saying because I have a vested
Yes.
interest.
bias.
Forget what you're saying. You don't care. The fact of the
No,
matter is that
so
you
then,
own a
real
restaurant.
question, right? Why
Restaurant.
not incorporate it into the pricing? A service charge. Tipping is different, and again, I don't agree with the idea of tipping. Or why not include the price inside the cost of the food itself?
Because I want to make more money. My
Okay.
family.
All right.
Yeah.
No, but
no
just
one
increase
gets
the prices.
Increase the
Yeah,
prices.
better make
No.
it money.
Increase the prices by 10%,
Oh, but-
20%.
Right.
But that could be.
Would that have
For the
an
last
impact?
time,
I don't think
me
that.
guy bolto.
Huh.
Let the Gujarati run the business. Huh? You do it. You do it. He'll say the profit. Let him run the business. For 100 years, you're doing it wrong. Call your father. Call your father right now.
Okay. All right.
What? Hey guys,
Yes.
we discovered something.
Yeah,
man. This guy's
Shreyas
super
is richer
Rustam.
than me.
And he-
Now I feel like I don't have a place on this podcast
He calls
anymore.
me up.
We don't need
He's
a
got
rich person.
2 California locations,
Yeah.
man.
What the fix?
Wait, what? I just
1 minute,
Is that-
guys.
Yeah, I went to the website right
This
now. 2
hoax-
California,
Amit,
California
This is you.
locations.
In the
Vishnu Ji
pandemic-
Ki Rasoi is you.
in the
I
pandemic-
thought he said California. I thought he was sort of kidding. And then I went to the website and yeah, it's Nagpur,
In the
Pune,
pandemic, he was calling me up because they had thrown him out of his house.
Yeah.
I felt really bad. I remember talking to Quran, you got to help this guy, because he's homeless and he goes to another place. Parsi family or something owns it. They know who I am. And, it makes me feel even worse if you're not helping him. And now the guy owns half of America.
What the hell?
And
Wow, I had no idea.
all this happening to Sidhu and that Vijay whatever in Punjab, he's responsible because of the food he's made. Are you providing the Chandigarh jail?
Hey, Bharat Ram Chandrasekhar said, I have had Vishnu Ki Rasoi in California and it's amazing.
Oh, amazing. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're the biggest thing on our
I mean,
show.
I have
You're the
nothing to
biggest
do with
thing
it
on our
at
show
all.
ever.
Zero contribution, but yes.
No, but you own
Yeah, it's
equity,
my
right?
family. It's,
I mean, yeah, it'll someday be yours.
Why didn't you just get into that business? There's so much money to be made. You already got to start. Why become a comedian? And open for people like...
my younger brother is fully into this line, and I'm very happy that he's going to take it forward.
And he's not funny.
He's funny,
Oh,
but he's
shit.
a better chef. He's a better chef than
Oh, what a
how
complex
funny he is.
life you live. The better talent is the cook. Huh?
Wow.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
So that's
Nobody even says you need to be
Silverie
rich.
lied about his middle class upbringing when he has 13 cars and 15 flats. This guy has an entrepreneur par excellence and acts like a struggling guy with no home in Mumbai. So actually, we, the Valkeshwar and Malabar Hill types, we are the ones who have nothing. We're nothing.
Yeah.
Except for a Duple flat in Malabar.
But it's a family thing here.
yeah,
It's
but it's a family thing only. No, it's not like he's sitting
I
in the
don't have
restaurant.
32
and
Yeah,
flats,
I'm not.
huh? He's got franchises all across the world, brother.
That is true.
Yeah, that's
California, and not with a K.
And how many cities in India you said, Amit?
Huh?
How many cities in India was it?
It's Bombay, Latur,
Three, four.
Nagpur, and Pune.
So he
3
controls
or
Maharashtra.
4.
Maharashtra is controlled.
These people.
And the only reason he couldn't take it to Punjab is because he shouldn't be making Punjabi food in the first place.
Yeah, actually, if you go,
Yeah, Bruce Wayne says, Shreyas, please return Silverie's 5,000 rupees ASAP. What the hell, dude?
What the hell, dude?
Why are you still not paying me back?
This is like a
This
third
makes
world
no
country.
sense.
Pretending to be a third world country when you're a first world country. I know
Yeah.
such a country. This is not right. This is not right. And you, what are you crying about? You didn't even remember. You're that rich. So what are you talking about?
I mean, sure, that is also true.
can I just point something
Yes.
out? So Amit, for context, I reminded Antariksh that I had to pay
He
him
did,
back.
he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the show, he did.
But let me tell you one thing that I didn't reveal the last time. I just said 5,000 as a joke just to see if you go with it. Actually, it was 200 for a cab that you gave me, and you went with 5,000.
No.
And it's been
I paid you
Again.
5,000.
Again.
What are you saying, dude?
Again.
You a few
Silverie
months
is
back.
okay. I'll pay you back. guys,
You
fine.
don't
What
run.
an asshole.
You
What
don't
a
do
jerk.
accounts. You don't do accounts for the family business. Whatever
No,
happens.
he actually took 5,000 from me. This is hilarious. But yes,
What is-
That's the investment for the restaurant. So thank you for that.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's what you built your entire restaurant
Yep.
business. My 5,000 rupees.
Restaurant.
Yeah,
There's no
restaurant
T
business.
apparently. You're all saying it wrong.
All right, let's get to a fun game segment before we get into the AMAs.
Hey, you can top this.
I know we can't, but let's try. Let's try.
Quick, yeah.
A quick segment of Biden or Bachchan.
Oh, nice. I like this. I
Okay.
saw this last time.
So I'm gonna say a quote which was either said by Joe Biden or Amitabh Bachchan.
Wow.
And you have to tell me who you think the quote is from.
Okay.
All right. The first one is, "No one is perfect, and criticism is always welcome and expected."
Biden.
All right.
I'll just say
Cyrus,
Bachchan
Amit?
because I'm
Biden.
irritated with him.
Okay. You're
Not
irritated
Bachchan, with him.
Okay. Cyrus, your irritation is right. It is in fact Amitabh Bachchan.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
I knew
Alright.
it all along. I just pretended
Of
to
course.
not know it. I didn't want to look like unfair advantage. This is not biology class where I would be king. Yeah.
All right. Next one is, "All our differences hardly measure up to the values we all hold in common."
Oh, that's got to be Biden.
That's Biden. That doesn't sound like a
That's
Biden.
That's too much of political
Is it
talk.
written for Biden? I don't think Biden
No,
said
no,
it.
Amitabh.
No,
It's
I'm
Bachchan. It's
going with
Bachchan.
Biden. He's a restaurant. He's a restaurant.
He's a restaurant.
It's a tough one, no, because
Yes,
the T comes
yes,
into that.
correct, yeah.
Restaurateur, how do you say it? Say it for us.
Restaurant.
No, the restaurateur, how do you say it without the T?
Restaurant.
Don't you dare! I want restaurant with the ear. Can you give it to me?
Okay. So that was in fact Joe Biden. Yes, you're right. Cyrus and
202,
Amit, right?
202.
Yes.
AMAs.
Okay. Last
Okay.
one. This is this could be either. Okay. This could be the tiebreaker, so as it were. This guy doesn't have a clue about the middle class.
Oh, it has
Biden.
Biden. Amitabh doesn't use words like this guy.
Yeah.
That's true.
I know what he'd be talking about also.
Yeah, he was talking about Trump.
Yeah.
This is a
Who would
direct
Amitabh say that
correlation.
about? No one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Amitabh does
He
not,
doesn't do criticism. He
use
doesn't
this
enter
guy.
politics.
He
Yeah,
doesn't
this-
say, he doesn't say stuff like
Also,
this.
talking about the middle class in India is very difficult because everyone pretends to be middle class, no? Especially people on the internet.
That's
Okay.
true. Yeah.
And people on the podcast. You bloody liar.
Okay. Since you guys got that one a little too easily, I will make it a little more tough. This one is, "Make your own choices in light of your own wisdom."
This could be either.
This could be
No, this is
either.
Amitabh. It sounds a little more preachy.
Philosophical.
No,
yeah.
Biden,
Yeah.
because you wouldn't do Biden and Bachchan. I think you want to throw us off. So Biden.
In America, you'll be talking about abortion and when you say something like this, which is dangerous for Democrats. So let's just go with Mr. Bachchan.
Okay, so 2 Bachchan and 1 Biden. It's Bachchan. Yes, Cyrus, you got it all right.
got all wrong तुम्हारे
Every single one.
नाम है परमेश्वर.
All right, time for AFAs. That's awesome.
If you're a cricket fan, check out Edges and Sledges, India's favorite cricket podcast.
The podcast focuses on Indian cricket, the IPL, and has a ton of banter both on and off the field.
We talk about the week's biggest cricket stories with current and ex-international cricketers, coaches, or sometimes just between us.
And it's hosted by me, DJ.
Me, Varun.
And me, Ashwin.
New episodes release every week.
You can catch us on the IVM Podcast's website, app,
Or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Check out the Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored. I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me.
The first AFA question comes in from Gayatri Desai. Hey Gayatri, she says, hello, I'm Gayatri. I love watching Cyrus Says. It's absolutely the most fun, easy, real and irreverent hour and I look forward to it every single day. Thanks again, Gayatri. Kripya dhyan dijiye. Thank you for doing this.
Tough to be gracious because nobody says nice things, so I don't know.
Yeah, very
It
nice.
must be something that we didn't understand and we're not intellectual
Read
enough
between
to
the
pick it
lines.
up. Yeah. Let's ask our chef. Cheater, liar. I don't have a home. I'm homeless. Homeless? Daddy ko phone kar bangla de dega? What is this nonsense? That's not right. You're like this, there's a few Parsis who actually go and try and get those, those scholarships that are available, but they've got like 7 cars, like Silverie. When it doesn't go to the right person, that's not fun.
Wait, how many cars does your family have?
Yes! And in California.
No, in California I don't have any cars. Here there are a few multiple cars, lesser than you have for sure.
Hey,
But
I have 5.
When he won't
Oh,
say
yeah.
the number, he's saying a few
That's it.
multiple
Yeah,
cars. So
exactly.
it's not 1, 2 or 3. I can tell you that. It's
exactly.
not 1, 2
more
or
than
3.
that. It's in
Okay.
double digits.
it's 7 cars, 8
Whoa.
cars, but it's a joint family and there's a lot of transportation.
No excuses. We don't want to hear your
transportation.
excuses.
On your way out, tip the guy. Okay, what's
All right.
next?
Next one is Adarsh is a cricket question. He says, Cyrus, do you think any team can beat Gujarat Titans if Gujarat bats second?
That's a good point. Not a great record batting first, but then they're looking so hot and I don't know. It just for me T20 nobody likes sport here. Oh yes, you like
Yeah, I
cricket.
love sports.
T20 is very momentum based. Now the last 3 or 4 games,
I've
sort of give
never
you a-
gotten into T20, I'll be honest.
Fair
after
enough.
the first
June
World
2nd,
Cup.
New Zealand versus England. We're all back. We're the home of cricket. We can see the ball clearly and nice looking. Okay, I won't get into that. Better leave that alone. Yeah, but I just think that they'll win
Why
batting
can you
first
not
or
see
second.
the ball clearly?
The light is better. I'm sorry to say.
Okay.
And once you go to Europe, the light is a lot better, and everything outdoors just looks better.
Pollution.
I don't know what it is.
It's
I can show
pollution.
it to you frame to frame. I'll
It
show you
is.
a match in India, hockey, cricket, anything which is outdoors, and I put it in
It's
Europe. And you see the
pollution. You
difference.
look at a major city in India, the air is much more polluted.
Who do we blame? Let's blame the
light,
politicians.
light basically bounces off pollution, right? So then it's less clarity.
This is not biology, so you know your subject. Immediately. Boom, boom.
Physics,
boom,
baby,
Physics.
physics.
ABC of physics. All right.
All right. Next one is from Harvesh Pakasar. Hey Harvesh. He says, hello all. Do you think Telangana is the best run state here? Rural and healthcare development has been the focus. Also, Amit, who do you pick to come out of the dogfight from the east? I'm picking Miami.
Oh,
So first Telangana
basketball.
Yeah, I could honestly. So I'm a Sixers fan. So first and foremost, fuck the Celtics. So obviously not them.
Okay, thanks for telling us all
yes.
these names. We are Googling and we're trying to stay
So Boston, Philadelphia is a very big rivalry thing, and so fuck the Celtics. And Miami beat the Sixers, so I'm
I
not
don't
so
know
happy
why
with
people
them.
think humanity is in danger when a boy from Walkeshwar is interested in some team called the Celtics from Washington or something, you know, and another guy in Ahmedabad is arguing about the point because he's on the other side. I mean, this is humanity at its best, right? We have like Manchester United supporters, the worst team in the FA Cup and the EPL, right here. So I mean, this is good. This is globalization.
Yes, it is.
What do you guys think about Telangana?
Well, one thing is there throughout the pandemic, and I've gone to Hyderabad 3 or 4 times, because of my mother-in-law being alone, so my wife has had to visit, and I had a couple of events. commerce, trade, and the sense of, we will not be cowed down was fantastic. And you have to give him some respect for that. Part of it is because he wants to show the center that, look, we are better than you. But
I agree. Even the healthcare stuff, right? I mean, like the
records are better than ours.
The ambulance networks, right? I mean, like, and stuff like that is really impressive in Telangana.
Their COVID response techniques are better than everybody else's. They've got very, very, can't argue with the figures. And unlike some states, I won't name them, relevant figures. They're sort of real.
Yeah.
There are some states where the figures aren't real.
Right.
And I don't mean Nagpur.
I know.
Where you have restaurants.
I know you don't. You better not.
I hope ICAR is listening.
So Telangana is good. Telangana is good. Shavik Bakchi says, Amit and Cyrus went to the MMA APAC event. Please share your experience.
Lunch was, better
than expected.
It was better, but I was like, we were like with the Heiners, and Heiners have a hierarchy, right? Yeah. So the weakest, the
junior
It's a
matriarchy, by the way.
Yeah, matriarchy is the leader, the lady. That's like my family. And then all the way down is me, Amit. I would put a little ahead of me, and then me. So we got very little food. As in, we had to eat last. And
but we chose to eat last.
We chose to eat last because first year.
So are you saying there was nothing left?
We had I couldn't push elderly women and all that. I mean, I wanted to, but I didn't.
Cyrus also hung out with these three ladies from the pharma industry, and he had a great time doing that.
Yeah.
So,
I found 3 young girls, and I sort of spoke to them about the gospel of Brocha. None of them hit me with their handbags, so that's the start. It was fun. It's really interesting. Maybe he'll explain better. I'm still not sure what they're trying to do with the whole. But they're creating a market in a sense where people come and discuss ideas and bounce off, and people who have done well in the fraternity sort of talk. So they've got the numbers to prove it, etc. Or the experience. Amit will explain better. But I don't know. You could, if you want to come into such a thing, if you're not part of the
you need to be part in the marketing kind of marketing needs to be important in that sense. Now they wanted to have you on because they thought it would be a fun conversation, little celeb value for social and all that kind of stuff also, right?
And cheap.
Cheap because nobody paid you anything.
No lunch also. Where were you, bro?
Cyrus, by the way, people are objecting to your Manchester United slander. People are.
The only thing we at Liverpool have is that we can pee on Man U. That's the only thing. Because God has twice denied us in 3 years, rightfully what is ours. And the only thing is that, you lose only 2 games. Man City lost 3. So if you look at it from that point of view, we lost 2 games and we still don't get the title. That's not fair. That's a bit like what BJP is feeling in Maharashtra.
And the last question comes in from Freebird Studios, who says, at Antariksh or Silverie, ki, that is KI in Hindi, is not interchangeable with that. I beg to differ. I think it is. You can interchange key and that.
This is your revolution. This is what you want to draw a line in the sand. Put your flag.
Stand my ground, man.
Stand your friggin' ground.
Yes.
Example.
Like he said ki ye mujhe nahi karna hai. Yeah, he said that I'm not.
That's very Panjubo. That's a Panju.
But it is interchangeable. No, what?
Okay. Yeah.
Perhaps not in chaste language. Perhaps not. I don't know.
Of course. Like if we want to stick to a language, then
it sounds right. It says that.
Sounds right. It sounds right. It's wrong, but it sounds right.
Yeah, it sounds right.
In English,
language.
Nagpur should have a better command of Hindi than us, so let's just close to the set. No, they do. They speak Hindi and Marathi.
That's just from there.
All my Nagpur friends are bilingual in that sense. Good Hindi. Yeah. So you tell us.
No, that is not a Hindi word. So there's no way that there can be an actual translation of key and
so
that.
So the question is wrong.
No, I think it's
in everyday usage. I think
it's fine.
Yeah.
With language,
that's a colloquial use.
With language, as long as you are getting what the person is saying, that's all. That's all that matters.
No, but he's being orthodox. So if you're being orthodox, is he right or not?
Yeah, it is. Nagpur uses bastardized language. Hindi, English, Marathi, everything is mixed.
You sound like a Parsi bag.
I'll tell you a very fun phrase in Nagpur. Like if we want to leave from here, we don't say that. Okay, let's bounce. We say, "Chal, यहाँ से minus होते हैं."
Oh,
great! You get about that? I love that phrase.
यहाँ से minus होते हैं. That's great. What a great line.
There's something for everybody there.
Wow.
Say it again.
Minus होते हैं यहाँ से फटाफट. चलो minus होते हैं. चलो.
So that's going to take us out. Minus होते हैं.
Yeah, minus होते हैं. Before going minus, you have to.
Don't forget to download the Jupiter Money app on the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. And now together, minus होते हैं. Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In, or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey.
A wise man once said, traveling, it makes you speechless, then turns you into a storyteller.
Well, listen to such travel stories and experiences exploring India on the Musafir Stories with us, Saif and Faiza.
Catch us on the IVM website, app, or wherever you get your podcasts from.